Hey everyone, welcome to this learning session from Training Location. We are an authorized DiSC distributor for Wiley Publishing as well as a channel partner with the Ken Blanchard Companies. My name is Bill Harshman and I'll be your presenter today for this short, informative video. In today's DiSC lesson, we'll discuss a deeper and broader understanding of the C or conscientious style. This will be helpful whether it is you who are a C style or if it is someone with whom you're dealing is a C style. I've always encouraged learners to maintain a couple important pieces of what I call baseline knowledge. These pieces are both critical to understanding DiSC. This is especially for my first-time bloggers. Now, first are the cornerstone principles we've discussed before. All DiSC styles are equally valuable. Everyone is a unique blend of all DiSC styles, and your unique style is also influenced by other factors such as life experiences, education, and maturity. The second is the basic DiSC model, which you see here, and this is critical to understanding the styles. A person's DiSC style is decided by the intersection of two dimensions of observable behaviors, including body language, tone of voice, expression, word choice. Now, the vertical dimension is known as pace. That's your outward activity level, described as either fast-paced and outspoken or cautious and reflective. The horizontal dimension is known as your agreeableness quotient. This means those who are less agreeable place a lower priority or concern for cooperation and social harmony. We refer to them as questioning and skeptical on the left end of this dimension. Now, a general term which might help you remember this is tend to be result focused. Those who are more agreeable and who place a higher priority on cooperation and social harmony are referred to as accepting and warm, and that's on the right end of this dimension. Now, a general term for them might be people focused. Here's the point. It is the intersection between these two continua of pace and agreeableness, which forms the four quadrants or basic styles of the DiSC model, and by which you identify a person's DiSC style. Now, I want to start with a definition of conscientious that we are likely familiar with to help calibrate the reader and provide a common baseline of understanding as we proceed. Oxford defines conscientious as of a person wishing to do what is right. And that word is underlined for a good reason we'll see going shortly or going forward, especially to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. Now, I'd say that's a pretty good starting point from our daily lives. And there's some other words that may appeal to you as we go to the thesaurus. Diligent, fastidious, meticulous, painstaking, complete, and exacting. Now, DiSC will provide much more interpretation and meaning to this style label that we call conscientious. With our focus on the C style, let's break down the pace and agreeableness interaction a bit more. We'll start with pace. We see that C and S share a cautious and reflective pace. Using the C as our example style today, we see that C and S share some of the same aspects by nature of their similar pace. In other words, if they have a similar pace, they're more likely to be able to understand one another sooner and easier than if they have a dissimilar pace. Putting that another way, they each know a little bit about the other with whom they're interacting. Now, still focusing on the C style, let's take a look at agreeableness. We see that C and D share questioning and skeptical agreeableness. In other words, they know each other a little bit, they know it a little bit about the language of the other and their result-focused approach. Excuse me. You might wonder, so what about the diagonal pairings? For example, the C and I relationship. Well, that's a good question. This is where we begin to see interaction between dissimilar styles that share neither pace nor agreeableness. So let's take a look what that appears. Again, with our focus on the C style, we know that a C comes from a cautious and reflective pace combined with a questioning and skeptical agreeableness. Now, when the C needs to interact with the I, the first thing the C considers is that the I has a faster and outspoken pace combined with an accepting and warm agreeableness. This knowledge is all the C needs to prepare for successful interaction with the I. Granted, it'll take a little more planning and effort to enter the conversation with the I style in mind. Now, I call this extra effort the stretch. One style may have to stretch or flex a little bit to speak the language of another style, always considering the other's needs and preferences and priorities. Now, I want to use the analogy here of learning a new task at work. At first, if it's not easy or comfortable and requires what we labeled as stretch. However, over time and practice, coupled with an understanding of what is required to complete the task successfully, you'll need to stretch less and less to get the desired results. So let's look now at some other descriptors from DiSC and from Wiley Publishing to help you more easily and accurately understand the C or conscientious style. Let's look at an overview of the C style. We already know the two continua which indicate a C. Now let's see more descriptors which help us understand better. The C priorities are ensuring accuracy, maintaining stability, challenging assumptions. And if they had a motto, there's that word again, it'd be do it right. They're motivated by opportunities to use their expertise or gain knowledge and their attention to quality. If they have any fears, it'd be criticism or slipshod methods, especially not created by them, but which can affect their result. And they also fear being wrong. Other descriptors, analytical, reserved, precise, private, systematic, and their limitations, they can be or be perceived as overly critical, have a tendency to overanalyze, and also can isolate themselves. Here's an excerpt from an actual DiSC profile report for a conscientious style. You place a high priority on accuracy. You want to ensure superior results and tend to analyze options rationally and separate emotions from facts. You also prioritize stability and tend to tend to value follow through and restraint. You are uncomfortable with quick or risky decisions and prefer to take time to make an informed choice. Last, you prioritize challenge. In searching for the most streamlined method of task completion, you may openly question ideas and point out flaws that others may have missed. Diving a little further into understanding a particular style, we need to look beyond simply observable behavior. Wiley research identifies that each style has a core needs or need. In this case, the core need or driving assumption of a C is simply analyze. They have a need to analyze. That is the instinct to step back and think, to remove themselves from the situation, to get some distance, then break things down rationally to understand in an objective, logical way. Now, what's not here is this is buoyed up by a couple things: a strong need for safety and security, a need to be beyond reproach, and also a strong need to and for control. These are kind of in the background of that initial need of the conscientious style to analyze. Your strengths as a C coworker may include any or all of the following: dealing well with complex issues, bringing technical expertise, providing task completion combined with high accuracy, being careful and methodical, and making decisions that are fact-based. Your limitations as a C or conscientious coworker may include overly critical or perceived as such, tendency to overanalyze, isolation of yourself, and investing too much time into avoiding mistakes, or too much energy, I should say, and time into avoiding mistakes. Now, as a seer conscientious, you can improve your effectiveness by the following. When it comes to analyzing and accuracy, monitor becoming perfectionistic and indecisive. And sometimes we refer to that as analysis paralysis. Scope the projects and the detail required to meet the deadlines. And when it comes to others whom you see or perceive as having lower skills or less attention to quality, shift from judgmental to open-minded. What more do you need to know about the conscientious style? Well, there's much more to discover by taking the DiSC profile, and in future lessons, we'll learn about motivators and stressors, how to connect with all four styles, solving problems with all four styles, dealing with tension between styles, and 3 key strategies to deal with all styles. I hope this overview has increased your awareness, your knowledge, and your familiarity of the DiSC, and specifically the conscientious style. Whether your needs include onboarding, employee engagement, culture change, conflict management, team building, or simply communication, DiSC is the research-based, proven leading training solution. It's impacted more than 8 million learners in over 130,000 organizations and through 14 languages in over 70 countries worldwide. DiSC provides a quick, intuitive way to understand yourself and others, and it delivers immediate and lasting impact on people and culture. And as always, the key to effectiveness through DiSC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interactions. Now, here's our contact information. And please, before you go, I want to extend you a resource and a request. I'll be happy to send you a sample PDF of any DiSC profiles you see on our website, or if you'd like to discuss a complimentary live webinar introducing DiSC or one of the profiles to your team or organization, use the email shown, info@training location. And be sure and check out our learning blog at the website, traininglocation.com. And before you go, before you close your screen, we always appreciate your like, your share, or download. And of course, for continued learning, please subscribe. And don't forget, click the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Thank you and goodbye till next time.